Hello and welcome back to another news video for Final Fantasy XIV, covering all of the news for patch 6.4. We should be getting the patch notes over the next couple of days, so we've got that to look forward to. But today, the 18th, we actually got the special site updated, presumably for one of the last updates before the patch, which is less than 5 days away at the time of recording right now. So the updates then are highlighted in green. If you want to come to this website yourself, obviously a link is in the description, but we're going to look at all of the new updates to the actual website today. In shadow looms the usurper's seat. So click on the challenges section. That's the first bit to be updated. Let's zoom back out. I had things zoomed in before. Of course, this shows some of the footage in slides of the actual Pandemonium raid, which wraps up the raid series this time around. It says the serene expanse of the ethereal sea is marred by the sudden appearance of Pandemonium, which has crossed eons to threaten the source of life itself. Its walls loom unmanned, but you know well what horrors once lay beyond them, and in the silence can hear a stirring. So these are the pictures. We've already seen a lot of this before, including the boss here that they showed in the live letter as well. They've sort of previewed this in the trailer, and this is also one of the bosses then. I wasn't sure where this was. I guessed it was probably Anabasios before from a trailer. It is absolutely horrific looking. It's some kind of amalgamation, some experiment. I can't wait to see what that's all about. Of course, this raid comes with a storyline, and I've been enjoying it. This then is our proper first real look at the raid gear in the actual game, so we can't really zoom in any further than this. But as you can see, this also shows the weapons, and I personally think the weapons are unbelievably cool. Like, look at this machinist weapon. Holy moly, that looks amazing. So again, these will be the Savage weapons, right? Because that's where you get the raid series weapons from. The chest pieces and the rest of the armor is available in obviously normal mode raid, and presumably the dyeable versions of the same gear will be obtainable in the Savage version. The differences this time around is that you'll be able to acquire all of the sets of armor pieces from Savage without actually doing the 12th wing, or the 4th wing if you want to call that, of this new raid series. It's actually, they've added the chest piece as a drop from the 3rd wing, or the 11th wing if you want to see it that way, from Pandemonium in Anabasios. So if you don't actually have to clear the tier on Savage to get a full set of the armor. The weapons, however, will still remain from Savage, but maybe Savage isn't your cup of tea. In the future, maybe an expansion over, you might want to come back and get some of these pretty looking pieces of glamour. I like the samurai sword. I really do. I think that's awesome. The armor's pretty, it's pretty basic. I'm not sure if I like the healer set, but the one thing I do like about it is the luminescence. But I think the caster one is a much cooler looking color. That sort of like clear blue highlights there. This then is like this is actually on the armor, by the way. At first I thought these were new lifts as part of a sage, but I was like, no, the healer's here. They're representing a scholar. So this is actually part of the scouting gear. You've got floating crystals behind the character, and if you look, it seems like everyone has floating crystals around them. That's what these crystals are emanating from, not the weapons, I don't think, but the actual armor itself. Now, I don't see any radiating from the healer, or indeed the caster, actually, because these orange ones are probably from the Dragoon, right? This is a Dragoon, that's a Lance. This is a caster, this is scouting. Obviously, we've got fending over here with blue crystals, and then slightly brighter blue crystals with like some kind of crystal focus for the back. So I think they've gone with the idea of instead of having like big glowy cloaks and things, how we had the big circle behind the gear that was floating? It's actually crystals now. I really like those. I'm kind of sad that in appearances at least there doesn't appear to be any beyond the healer, unless they're hidden of course by these other characters in the shot. But yeah, they're really cool if those are attached to the chest piece, especially the scouting one. Holy moly, I love that purple sort of almost magenta-y, pinky sort of crystals there. Awesome stuff. Let me know what you think about this armor. Personally, I'm all for it. It's not the best looking armor. If I was to say what my favorite of this set would be, I think it would be the striking set over here for monks and samurai. I think that works really nicely. But yeah, the rest are kind of meh. If it wasn't for the crystals, I'm not sure I would like them. But yeah, the weapons are cool though. But weapons are always cool from Savage, aren't they? We also have, let's see, the next section is, there's the Aetherthaunt, the Vodcast Dias. We've already seen all of that stuff. There's Blue Mage. Here we go. We've got a section on Tataru's Grand Endeavor, which, of course, this time includes backstory from the Sorrow of Wurlit and will require you to actually have completed the Sorrow of Wurlit questline and raid series, the trial series, inside Shadowbringers. So make sure you have this done. It says, ever eager to expand her list of clientele, Tataru's gaze is fixed upon a promising new opportunity that has arisen in Turncliffe, and she can think of no other better than you, the coastal town's liberator, to secure it. Of course, this is a very sad storyline. If you've not done it, I'm not going to say why. It's just really good. Definitely go out your way and do it. And Gaius looking as weathered as usual. Next section then, this is in 6.45, so not coming out on next Tuesday, is a scene from Somehow Further Hildebrand Adventures. We also see this, I believe, in the trailer. If you haven't been doing the Hildebrand storyline, I don't know why you haven't, because there are relic weapons associated with it now as well. But yeah, highly recommended. In the wake of further alien-related mishaps, Hildebrand and his crew are joined by the Inspector's flat-featured clone, Brandhild. Thus reinforced, the group is even better equipped to find trouble as they continue digging into the whereabouts of Poo-Poo's elusive friend. Hey, if we don't get a Poo-Poo minion by the end of this, I'll be really sad, by the way. Really looking forward to that. Also in 6.45, again, not next Tuesday, are the Mandeville weapons that I talked about, with this image, obviously, of Geralt and Godbert chilling out. There appears to be a sneaky someone hiding in the background. I wonder who that could be. Tireless in his quest, Lord Godbert has unlocked yet another secret of his ancestors' astonishing smithing techniques. He stands ready to advance your weaponry to the next stage, assuming Geralt is still willing to cooperate. I'm sure he will be. Just no more squeezing sweat into my weapons, please. Jeez. Also in 6.45, again, not next Tuesday, Splendorous Tools upgrade. This continues. If you've been doing that quest line, you've got more over on the 1st. It says, through the winning combination of Grenalt's expertise, Shorazoi's passion, and the Warrior of Darkness's unyielding patience in the face of countless collectibles, the boutique's adaptive tools have garnished acclaim in every corner of Norvrant. An artisan's work is never done, however, and Mauen has a mind to reach even greater heights in the name of the realm's prosperity, and that looks to be interesting. This is probably going to be one of the best looking pictures in the entirety of this special site update, and we'll talk about it in a second. Expand your exploration to an entirely new area and decorate your hideaway with furnishing glamours. Island living has never looked so luxurious. Okay, so an entirely new area. They were very careful on the live letter when they were on the Island Sanctuary not to open the map and to be zoomed in. So I'm very excited to see what happens, where we can go. But can we just briefly talk about how amazing this Island Sanctuary hideaway looks? It's just absolutely packed. Of course, you've got visitors coming over here, so they've got the idea of these would all be player characters just chilling out and visiting people's islands. We've got some new furniture included here, of course, because this is all outdoors furnishings. We've got this beautiful parasol that you might remember from Costa del Sol, actually, which is awesome. That comes with a table and like chairs. Amazing stuff. We have the new Mandragora mount in the background that you can get from Island Sanctuary. This whole place will be upgraded. There's new ranks and visions. We've got a veranda in the background. So this is all custom placed, like the fountain that you can craft. All of this stuff is either crafted or purchased housing items that have been displayed on this area. And by the looks of it, the possibilities are endless. I cannot wait to customize my island, invite people over, have very little activities to do with them, but I think one of my new video series will be inspecting people's islands and being invited and see what they do, because it's an entirely different space and we've never before had the ability to place as many items. In this content, we're able to place 90 items at any one time within the Island Sanctuary hideaway, which is just incredible. But yeah, these characters look like they're having a lot of fun, and of course you can see little, you know, minions everywhere, because you can have your minions out, so presumably the minions interact with the stuff you place and stand on stuff, and like the Nutkins chilling out there. And we might have some, I don't know, there might be some Easter eggs in this picture that I just haven't seen, but it looks so vibrant. We also have a second image. So this is one of the new landmarks. So if you don't know, landmarks, much like the lighthouse you can build, they provide a passive buff. Usually all of the landmarks provide the same passive buff, so just having a landmark in a landmark slot will give you a passive buff to your, it's like production amount, isn't it? Quantity and things like that, and quality and all that. This looks like to be a new unlockable landmark, which appears to be a reworked shipwreck. Which looks pretty cool, actually. It looks like the little mammoths are having a great time, you know, chilling out, raising the foresails, and yeah, it just looks like a nice little decorative thing. They can do so much with this now. It's insane. But yeah, this one picture, it's just filled with imagination and love. And I really, really think for people who said that Island Sanctuary is not, it doesn't feel like a house, they should probably rethink that, because this feels more like a house than a lot of the houses we have, simply because of how dense we can populate it with items. But there we go. Anyway, moving on to even more stuff, we've got an ocean fishing update. We've talked about this before. The glittering waters of the Far East have been long considered an untapped treasure trove by the fishers of Eorzea. But now the Endeavour, which is the name of the ship, offers safe and profitable passage to all. Gaze upon the beauty of the Ruby Sea and wonder at the breadth of the One River as you cast your bait in search of a catch. So yeah, we'll be able to see the waters of Yangsha. In one of the pictures they showed before on the live letter, obviously the Ruby Sea, and we also have Kugane in the background there as well. So presumably 3 different areas that your boat's going to go to in the Far East. I can't wait to fish off the coast of Kugane. You know why? Because where the boat is currently, directly up here above the screen, is where the Prima Vista is from the Ivalice storyline. So this technically would be underneath the airship. So if you look upwards, you should see the airship. That's going to be awesome. Absolutely awesome. So I'm looking forward to that, and presumably there'll be the axolotl mount maybe attached to this. We don't know for certain. So lots of stuff to go for. We'll go down here past the duty support section. We looked at the tombstone gear before. If you didn't see it before, that's basically what it looks like, with varying degrees of success. I would say that the weapons are the most exceptional part, which were designed by players. We talked about this before, but I do like showing off how cool those weapons look. The armor is fairly, I have opinions on it. I'll keep to myself, which were designed by the developers, but the weapons really are the standout part. And the new bit then, talking of gear, the new crafted gear. So this stuff, let's say you're trying to get tombstone, let's say you're trying to do your raid content or whatever, and you need an item level boost, and perhaps you need gear to help you, and a lot of people will be using this to help bridge the gap until they get their savage gear or tombstone upgraded gear. This is the stuff you can craft and wear, right? And these are the various different weapons and armor. Personally, I think this Reaper blade is exceptional. I love that, with the holes between that and the gilt sort of roses, and it's just fantastic. A lot of people have criticized this gear on social media when they first showed it as looking too casual. Personally, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a good thing. This stuff could be used in so many different situations. Of course, it's going to be fully dyeable. On the live letter, we actually saw this healer outfit down here in purple. So, you know, this is presumably, oh no, there it is. There's the healer gear in purple. Wait, no, that's a summoner. Oh, that's caster gear. But of course it's going to be dyeable anyway, right? But I really like the healer one, the white version with the red as a base. Yeah, with varying degrees of enjoyment. This kind of looks like budget Tidus on the end there, but I like it. The big puffer jacket and the big boots, and it really looks like this guy's ready for Blitzball if they ever add it to the game. Hopefully they don't. And yeah, really cool stuff. You'll notice that there's just like a headband on the Vieira, so they've strayed away from as many hats as possible. Lots of these sets have bandanas so that we don't complain about headpieces, but it looks like Healer and Caster stuff does have a hat, so it'll be interesting to see if Hrothgar and Vieira can actually wield these mighty helms or not. But yeah, I personally like the gear. I wasn't sure about it on, you know, the pictures they first showed, but I think it's quite nice personally. And then we've got a couple more images. We've got a new mount, this presumably from the Voidcast Dais or Dais. That was my computer disconnecting something, by the way, not yours. I don't know why or what disconnected, but there we go. Just if you're wondering what that noise was. This is one of the new Lynx mounts then added for the Voidcast Dais. I'm not really sure why they're giving the moon as a backdrop there, but it looks cool. I haven't got a single Lynx yet. My RNG is terrible. We've been doing the extremes, but I've just not got any of them. I think they're kind of weird as well. The heads are like misshapen and shrunken compared to this like muscle body. But yeah, I'd like to collect them, and presumably in 6.5 we might see the final mount as you know, for collecting all of those. I think it might be 6.5, I don't know. And then the new minions, of course we've got lots of new minions. We've looked at those in the live letter breakdown, but one of the ones that they feature here is the Steampunk Otter, or whatever it might be called, which is absolutely dapper with his beautiful little top hat and goggles, and he's looking great with his little lantern as well. Very cool stuff. And also they show off one of the new Island Sanctuary armor sets that you can get, presumably as one of the cowrie rewards that you can exchange your cowries for once you've ranked up enough, or it might be available as soon as the patch goes live. We'll have to go and wait and see. But this lovely sort of steampunk jacket and goggles and stuff. But yeah, they're both from Island Sanctuary, and this is just one of the many, many, many rewards in 6.4. And I'm pretty sure that's all they want to tease at this point. There might be some more stuff on their official Instagram, so over the coming days we might do a couple of other videos on bits and pieces. But when 6.4 goes live, not only will we have live streams on this YouTube channel for the storyline, which will properly spoiler tag and things like that, but we'll also have lots and lots of videos on pretty much everything you can imagine. If you want to click on this link in the description, you can come here and read this yourself. If you want any of the larger sized images, perhaps you want a wallpaper, they've got you sorted for your phones. There's also a press kit, not like a fan kit. I'll link that in the description as well, which has different sized wallpapers and things. But yeah, very cool stuff. Anyway, much love. If I don't talk to you before 6.4 comes out, have a great one. We'll do a patch note reading soon when it's available, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.